Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Let's take a look at the forecast for the moon transiting Aries on Friday, May 23rd. Brings high physical energy and emotional excitement, which could entice you into overindulging, going to extremes, taking risks, or doing things you may regret later. As the moon joins Venus and Chiron, both in Aries, while forming a trine aspect with Mars in Leo, a sextile aspect with Jupiter in Gemini, and a square aspect with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Friends or groups could exert some peer pressure on you or activate your fear of missing out, and it is all too easy to get caught up in the fun and craziness without giving much thought to consequences, as Mars forms a sesqui-square aspect with the North Node and Saturn in Pisces, conjunct Neptune in Aries, and a square aspect to Mercury and Uranus, both in Taurus, conjunct the Sun in Gemini. Today is the kickoff for Memorial Day weekend and the start to summer in the USA, and people will be coming into this holiday with a strong desire to break free from their routines and to party. Plus, the approach of Monday's new moon in Gemini, after a weekend of Taurus sensuality, adds to the distraction from work and routines and the attraction to socializing, indulging in pleasure, and satisfying curiosity. If you lack self-control, be aware that you could be lured into sexy but not so reliable bad boy, bad girls, one-night stands, drunk tattoos, foolish spending, or acting like a fool in public. But maybe some foolishness, acting out, and burning off energy is just what you need most right now. So here we can see the moon, and disregard the transits. That's basically the same thing that's going on in the sky right now. I just happen to have it toggled on. So we've got the moon joining up with Venus, and it's that trine to Mars that's the biggest instigator, and then interacting with Jupiter in Gemini, and that's just pushing things over the top. This kind of subconscious pull toward the North Node, Saturn, Neptune, with Mars. In some cases, you may make a correct assumption based on intuition and perhaps encounter somebody who is significant in a favorable way for your future, where both of you might recognize each other as soulmates, or a relationship develops that's advantageous to both people in some way, or you both learn something because of the influence of the North Node there. But it is also just as likely right now, because Mars is also forming this square with Mercury and the Sun and Uranus, that it doesn't necessarily mean that because you feel that attraction or your intuition is telling you that you know that person from somewhere, that it is the best thing for you and that it's what you should be pursuing. Sometimes we meet people that we feel we have some connection with, but it isn't necessarily that they're meant to be the love of our life or a significant person in our lives. Then again, you are not going to know unless you actually get in deeper and find out where things are going to go. Overall, people are looking for love right now, or they're looking for sex. And for some people, they want both of that. There's generally a problem if somebody's wanting love more than they want sex and somebody else is wanting sex more than they want love. So that can create some issues right now if there's a misunderstanding between two people about what they really want. I did not mention this square aspect here with Venus to Pluto, but that's where things can get heavy and intense if you have expectations of someone and they're not going to meet them, or they're not capable, and then that fear of losing the person, or the jealousy and possessiveness can come out with Venus Chiron in a square to Pluto. So the Venus Mars energy is all gung ho for finding love and having fun and falling in love, pursuit, and just that exciting feeling of getting to know somebody better. But we have a couple of little shadows in here that are saying, well, time will tell. And that's the thing, time will tell. If you do nothing, you lose your chance or your opportunity, but you won't know until a certain amount of time passes while Jupiter is squaring this cluster here of the North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, whether it's going to be a lasting and enduring relationship or not. But right now, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So definitely venture forth. Just know that enjoy the present moment. Time will tell. And try not to go too crazy and overboard today. Particularly, and I say this every holiday, please do not drink or indulge in any mind-altering substances and drive. Um, Stay put and do those things. There's Uber nowadays, folks, Uh, you don't have to go drive. All right, have fun, and I'll be back again tomorrow.